Well, today comes the, what we call the topic of the day. We have been exploring for a long time, and that is spiritual experience and the physical integrity. You might not be even understanding what I'm saying. Sounds right or not right? Let me first explain to you, paraphrase by paraphrase. What is spiritual integrity? Spiritual integrity is that you deliver what is expected of you plus more. That does not mean that you should be trustworthy, but you should be worthy of every trust. To be trustworthy is not enough. So if you have a spiritual integrity, then you have a physical experience. The physical experience here we are referring is a sense of joy. Whenever you perform an act of spiritual integrity on any level, accidental, consciously, unconsciously, or it happens by coincidence, you will feel a sensation of fulfillment. And having that sensation of fulfillment is not a thing you can price. It's not a thing for which you can pay through any virtue. It's not a thing for which even you can thank. If you ever want to know what word bliss means, except you can find it in English dictionary, it's called a sensation of joy, extraordinary, or extreme happiness, those kind of expression. But all these expressions are earthy. They do not match that sensation, that happiness, which you can that way get by yourself experiencing when you perform directly or indirectly, coincidentally or accidentally, consciously or unconsciously, an act which your human integrity allows you to perform. That's why forgiveness is the highest act. But if you are a teacher and you forgive and you forget, then that is not spiritual integrity. That is cop-out. Just understand, one thing is good for one, it is worst for other. Don't misunderstand that something is good for all. If a spiritual teacher forgives or forgets, he is cop-out. He commits a sin. But for an ordinary person, to forgive and forget is a divine act. What is divine for an ordinary person is undivine for a spiritual man. Act is the same. Feeding the poor is an act of grace. Helping the needy as an act of grace. But creating the needy is a treachery, though the acts are the same. Giving somebody spiritual integrity is an act more than of a God. Now I'm using English which you have to understand. Because God may not have written in the forehead of the person that that person will ever experience integrity. Now you are giving him a spiritual integrity. It's an act more than a God. It's the blessing of God, it's teaching of God, it is God's will. It happens coincidentally because of the prayer, because of this thing. To give somebody spiritual integrity is a great act. But to take away somebody's spiritual integrity is unforgivable act or unforgivable act of sin. Situation is, what you can give, you can take too, because it's a matter of ego. But it's not valid. You can help a person to get to the act of integrity, but at no cost, no benefit. Take away from somebody's integrity. And sometimes we innocently do things which are extremely irrational. Extremely irrational. Because you must understand, between the soul and between the body, the life, which is a continuous process, there is a force called mind. And mind is given to you as a gift. When the mind and ego acts together, you have no chance. When mind and consciousness act together, you lose no chance. It is the same mind, and it must act. It has absolutely no idea why it should not act, because mind cannot be but act. If you have any dream that you are so dumb that your mind won't act, no. Mind will make you the holiest of the holy, and mind will make you unholy of the unholy. Because mind must act. Either you control the mind or mind will control you. There's a war between you and mind. Because it is the intermediary energy, it cannot sit idle. So what is the choice we have got? Choice is very simple. There's no complication about it. If the mind is made to act with consciousness, you have nothing to hassle. But if the mind be made to act with ego, you have all the things to worry about. Because when mind acts with ego, it inflates the I. And when mind acts with consciousness, is open the I. And if you understand Gurbani, Home vadda rog hai, daru bhi isma hai. Ego is the biggest disease, but ego has its own solution in it too. Because if you want to get rid of the mind, then you will be just without mind. Without mind, people are called insane, lunatics. Somebody must have met me. I said, well, how are you? He said, fine. I said, what are you doing? I said, well, I've gone to America. He used to study with me sometime. We used to go to certain teacher together. I used to go for different reason, he used to go different reason, and I say, hey, you are still student? He said, yeah, I never get a luck to be more than a student, so I'm still a student. I said, what are you studying? I am studying, he said, to still my mind. I thought he's saying distill my mind. I couldn't understand that he can be that naive. Or my ego might have played a part that I couldn't believe that he can say that. So I say, you know how to distill the mind? He said, no. Not distill the mind, still the mind. I said, what? He said, oh, there's a new process through which you can still the mind. I said, such mind God never made. What are you going to still? Who's teaching you this? Then we get into intimate discussion and I said, shut up, don't get into this. It's a waste of time. He said, why it is a waste of time? I said, the matter is, you never wanted to be a teacher, you always want to be a student, so you go to weird grounds and learn weird sciences. No, on this planet Earth, God does not know how to make a still mind. So where are you going to still yours? Something is nothing but the impulsive frequency. Impulsive frequency of the creativity of the center of the nucleus I, which is the impact and the pulse of the creative act of all elements. It's called dance of the Shiva. I said, no, that mind you are going to still. With what force? With this body? This couple pounds of meat and bones? He said, I can understand theory of it, but I understand not the logic of it. Mind has to be stopped. I say, yeah, mind has to be stopped. That I understand. But you're not stopping the mind, you are stilling the mind. They are two different things. He said, but how to stop the mind? I said, it's the easiest thing. Stop it here, start it that way. Mind wants to move. If you want to stop on direction A, put it on direction B. Give it the alternative route. That's the only way to stop the mind. Otherwise it will hurt you. Mind is very most sophisticated force in the world. Actually, the story is, you must have heard that story. I have told you many times. When God was hatching, this is how it is. God was hatching. He told the soul, go and prove it to me you love me. God became himself egomaniac sometimes, so don't misunderstand, you become only. God has the same faculty as you have got. So he told the soul, go. Now there are many planets and all the planets have life. Don't misunderstand that Earth has a life only. Every planet in the cosmos has life. And there are billions and trillions of suns and billions and trillions and zillions of planets, and they all have life. But the difference is, this is the opaque life and that is the transmitting life. So in all other planets, they don't have bellies, they don't have to have food. It is the experience of consciousness and that's all it's about. But here, it's a grassroots experience. So the earth, when the soul has to come to touch earth, soul folded hand and say, God, that's a bad thing to do. That means a permanent separation. The God said, what do you mean permanent separation? It's just 100 years of life, no big deal. It will just go away like that. He said, no, in that if I miss it, I miss it. I know how many lifetimes I have to miss it, so it's not a good deal. No, that's not fair. So God said, all right, here is the mind. Only the mind is your privilege. All other transitory soul lives on all planets do not have mind, has transparency. That's the difference. When you become human, you are given the gift of mind. Why it was given? Because mind is faster than time and space, and if you want to connect with God, it can just take you before even a thought can take place. So it was a transit power to be in touch with God, going through the experience of this earth. So its own vibration is beyond time and space, and you are subject to time and space. Therefore, God gave us mind. Purpose is to use it, and use it consciously. Never let your mind act on you unconsciously. And what is unconscious subjection to mind? When mind and your subconscious become friends, you are doomed. That's it of you. Two things must not connect in you ever, your subconscious and your mind. When they become friends, you had it. Because when the subconscious and the mind act together, you will never have integrity. And without integrity, self-experience of your own integrity, you don't have a place to go. Therefore, you have only one reserved place to go to, the heart. You have to go to your own heart. Head won't help. And when you go to your heart, you have to humble yourself to receive the blessing so that you can raise yourself in that consciousness to find out where your consciousness is. The problem with all of us is that we do not know what our consciousness is. What is our consciousness? We are American, we are great power, we are superpower, we are MX missiles. That's all. You know, can you believe in America we have got so many ethnic groups? It's a nation of all nations. I think there's any part of the world from where people have not come here. All over the world. Maybe some people are minority, some are majority. There's hardly any religion of the world which is not practiced in the United States. So in other words, every religion is here, everything is here. And you know, we all tolerate each other. We have never communicated with each other. Periodically, maybe somebody may get interested into somebody. Oh, what are you wearing? What is your dress? You know, it's my religious dress. What is your religion? Or some moment you say, I like you. Once a while. There are some good souls. The funniest experience which I am having these days, I go by the aeroplane, you know. Now, people who can fly are average, above average Americans, right? And how you like when you fly 8 o'clock in the morning and they start drinking bourbon on the rock and Johnny Walker and gin and… can you believe that? 8:45 the flight starts. 15 minutes we are in the air. and they start boozing. It is amazing to me that what these people think they are. I had a saddest experience. I flew from New York. I came to Los Angeles. I didn't know where is the wall and where I have to walk. The alcoholic breath from other passenger got to me so bad that I didn't know whether I am in Los Angeles and I am in the middle of some ocean or what is happening. They all drank crazy. Very bad, very bad, very bad. No, it is not. They can't take the pain. They think the booze will take away the pain. It means they don't have their own nervous system to take the pain. Forget about going above the pain, which is a normal human trait. Above the pain is you. Acting under the impulse of pain is animal. When animal is hungry, he has a spank of pain. God, do you know what they do? They even eat up their own kittens. They don't care. It is the human rational mind which makes you to take advantage. That's why you have banks, you have storehouses, you have malls, you have supermarkets. All this paraphernalia is out of your rational mind. You created this whole rational earth just for one thing, that you should be above pain. You want to be happy. There is no such thing in you to be happy. Happiness can come in pain too. Sometimes your pain, tears brings you happiness also. You do not understand the difference between happiness and pain. All you don't want pain, but everything you do to cause pain. You go out and eat a heavy meal. You think you are not causing yourself a pain? You are causing a terrible pain. But your rational mind has worked out a system for you. Homes, air condition, lift. Now you know the land is smaller, you have to go up. Now you know man has no capacity to go 60-story by staircase. So that you made up lifts. So lift can go only maximum 20 stories. So what you do? Double phase lifts. So on 20 story, you take 21 to 40, 40 story, 40 to 60. I went to that building, that thing, what they call it, trade center. Oh God, crazy. You go up and up and up and up. In one lift, just in three minutes or something, they have a timing. You are on the top of the world. And if you stand over there, what we have built, we will say we are crazy. It's unbelievable nuisance. I must say, think of somebody who's on the 101st story and the lift doesn't work. It take him a week to come down. So what is the mind? Everything is grantedly being equal. The mind is rational. Proportionate sigma of the mind, everything is equal to all things in equal, and subject to time and space, given all conditions equal, everything is workable. That is the rational mind approach. I never knew when I have now studied with you lot of businesses and work you do, that there is a basic theory of trade, very, very ancient, very, very old, on which we are going to teach this time, this subject, the basic trade and the mind. People aptitude is not what trade is trade, but what is the satisfaction of it. So they built up a big facade for no gain. And some people have a big gain and nobody finds them. There's no identity. Exactly about mind. You have the sharpest mind, you never use it. Why? You let it mix with ego. You have dullest mind and you are very good with it because you have let it use with consciousness. With which partnership the mind works, that is your integrity in personality. You always will have that choice. This choice can never be taken away from you. And in simple English, we call it free will. Free will is whether you let your mind work with your ego or let your mind work with your consciousness. I have a mudra. It's an old Chinese mudra. They stole it from us. But they stole it via Lanka. You know Sri Lanka? There's a little eye drop under India. In the 15th century, there was a Chinese king. I forgot the name of dynasty, there's some dynasty. He got very uptight with his subject in China, 14th and 15th century. So he sent some messengers to go in India and learn certain procedures through which people can give away their mental cleverness, because he found his courtier doing games and everything. So, but they were not successful. So then he sent a sadhu. He came via Sri Lanka, came to the south of India and learned there a simple mudra. They call it Amarti Mydra. It is Amarti Mydra. It's very sacred to hierarchy of those who believe in God. And I'd like you to just get to that today and see how you feel about it. You see? You see this? This is my right hand, the thumb and the index, this pinky. And this is my left hand, and these three fingers will be straight. And sun finger and the ego, the thumb. Same procedure. You will just sit straight. And do nothing but concentrate on your hands and keep the fingers straight. See what happens. There's no huge involvement of you. Just keep the mudra. Keep it correct. If you think you have corrected the mudra, if you are sure of the performance, that mudra is correct, then close your eyes. and between the eyebrows and the root of the nose, beam out like a light, beam of light, beam out. Just concentrate very politely. In this mudra, your mind will challenge you and you will challenge mind, and you can totally overcome in dictating it the way you want it. If you think you have beamed out correct, your mudra is right. The third step is, at the heart center, revolve the mantra Omkar mentally. Mudra is correct. Beaming at the third eye point is okay. Then at the heart center, the mental mantra is Omkar. think the pictures behind you. Correct your posture, stabilize the posture, that's very important. Stabilize the mudra, stabilize the beam, stabilize the mantra. These are the 4 steps. Inhale deep, relax. Don't just become yogis overnight, I just wanted to give you a sample. But if you ever want to talk to your mind, this is the first mudra. I'll be teaching sadhanas for 2 days. I think I have been given a chance, so we'll complete about 8 to 16 mudras between that period. Do you hear this some telegraphic sound going? What is it? Air condition where? Do we have sent some secret telegraphic message somewhere? No, but we have a contract with them. They have to come and fix it. Yeah. Yeah, but that rattle I have to find out, that's difficult. It should have been found out by you a long time ago. You all have to learn to take over the responsibility, because don't expect me to look into everything myself. The experience in this mudra, if you go for half an hour sometime kayuli, you will be surprised what it can do for you. Now we are coming to the sophisticated part of the Kundalini Yoga. So, I think this Vaisakhi is wonderful. It's 84th year of 20th century. Would like to participate. Some of the good goodies will pull out of the bag of the Kundalini Yoga. Would like to share. I'd like to share something very unique with you. You know, many of you must have heard John Franzoni. Can you stand up, John? Show up, people. Here is he. It's wonderful to see him after so many years. For don't misunderstand. That's why God never goofed. He made the earth round so that you can take a full circle. Actually, earth is flat. It's cut and dry. You fall on the north, you fall in heavens. You fall in the south, you fall in hell. The theory idea was good, but later on they found out it is round and there's no earth which is flat, so they found there's no hell and heaven. So they took away a few chapters out of the Bible, but it doesn't make sense. If we would have known it is round. You know, this is the problem. We always say sun has risen, sun has set down. Sun never set down, neither rises. It's we who move. We have been so many centuries brainwashed, now it is impossible for us to accept earth is round. Though we know it is round. How many years we know? Couple hundred years? When it was found? So 400 years ago, we came to know earth is round. So 400 years we know earth is round, and for other 200 years we know it is flat. But still it is flat. We won't admit it, that it is flat. We say it is round, because if we say it is flat, then we are nonsense. We don't know anything about geography. But in our mind, it is still flat. Had we known the earth is round, we would have obeyed law of karma. Had we obeyed law of karma, we would have been very conscious. Had we been very conscious, mind would have been under our control. Had mind would under control, we all would have been divine. The first goof we goofed was that we believed the earth is flat, and we still believe it is flat. Oh, where is that book? And they have printed a book in German. You know that? Could you knock that door and ask them to give that book? It's right there. Yeah, in a yellow paper. Yeah. What is it? Hmm.
Say it in German, please.
Das unsagbare Glück. Gebete und Hymnen aus dem goldenen Tempel.
Yeah, what is the back side of it?
German?
Yeah, German.
Im Bereich des goldenen Tempels vom Amritsar, im indischen Bundesstaat Punjab, präsidierte Sant Janam Singh bin Babar als Führer der repräsentiert eine Tradition, die auf den Mystiker Guru Nanak 1496 bis 1539 zurückgeht, der die Sikh-Religion begründete. Zwischen Hinduismus und Islam stehend ist der Sikhismus eine radikale Buchreligion. Erstmals präsentierte der Herausgeber dieses Büchleins eine ausführliche Sammlung der wunderbaren Gebete und Hymnen aus dem Adi Granth, dem heiligen Buch der Sikh. Dem Zauber dieser tiefen und innigen Texte kann man sich schwer entziehen. Sie atmen den Geist des Monotheismus und eine starke kindliche Gläubigkeit und können durchaus auch als Gebete für Christen verwendet werden.
So it is in Germany that they have sent the translation of Sri Guru Granth, that's what it said? Some hymns?
Yeah, some hymns of the Adi Granth. And they say it can be a kind of in-between Eastern religion and Christianity.
So will you, how many people of us know Germany? A lot of people know. You know German too? Here you go. Translate it, see, show it to me what it is, then we'll give you the copy. It was sent to us today. Is there any language in the world you don't know? She's the best I got, hand-picked. So, sing the song. Merciful God, for all the acts of performance and praise of all those who have gone before us, who are with us, and who shall be coming, give us the experience of Chardi Kala, the rising twilight infinity in conscious act of the finite body. That is the literal translation for you, though you are the one who translated for us. The humanity has come to the crossroad. It needs peace, it needs joy, and it needs ecstasy in Thy grace. Bless us with all, so that we can celebrate Thy day with all the glory with which it stands for. Give us the power to pray, give us the projection to be pure, and give us the image of piety so that we can walk on Thy path. Satam.